Hi, I'm Judy Mudd, and this is my art tip. And today I am going to talk about how to create atmosphere and emotion in paintings. Now, this is watercolor. There are several ways you can, add emotion and atmosphere and moods to paintings, any painting, no matter what the medium. And they could be color, use of color. It could be values, how wide the range of lights to darks. It could be brush strokes, which can make something lively and have energy. But today I'm going to talk about edges. Edges, by that I mean both hard and soft edges. And I have sketched out this landscape. You probably can see it in the background here. I usually paint either from an iPad or my TV monitor back here. And what I'm looking for in this painting is number one, what do I like about it? And I love the yellow wildflowers out front. But the rest of it's just okay. I probably will not look at it when I'm painting and go more with how I feel about the painting itself. So atmosphere can be created with edges, and this is one way of creating them. There are several ways of creating soft and hard edges, but this is one way, a way that I start my paintings, and when that is my goal. I'm going to add some water to the sky up here. I want this to go on relatively quickly. I'm using phthalo blue. Now this tree is going to have some sparkle in it, so I'm going to go around some of it. Again, on this tree I do not want hard edges, except for a few little specks of light. Okay, back to the sky. I'm going to come all the way down. Again, I'm going to paint around a few whites just to hold them in these trees that are up front. The ones in the back, I want them to be soft anyway, so I'll paint right over the top of those. Okay, so there is my basic sky. Let's go ahead and paint. I'm going to paint around this barn that I have back here, and go ahead and add color all the way down to there. And while it's still wet, I'm going to do two things. There's a few little buildings back here in the far background, so I'm going to paint around them just a little bit. Not so much as this barn up here. The barn is more of my focal area. So I'm going to put a little shading on those buildings back there. Okay. Now where I want to make sure I have plenty of light spots to put a warm tree. See, this blue's on here, and I want to put a warm tree over the top of it. I need to lift back some of that blue just to make sure it doesn't gray it down or tone it down too much. Okay. And the same way with this one over here. I want to make sure I can at least cover some of that blue up with a lighter yellow. And I may go ahead and put some of that in while this is still good and wet. But one of the things I absolutely have to do is go ahead and put these mountains, I call them mountains, they're really just, hills back here. That's really far in the distance, so I'm lifting that hill back. That's the furthest one away. And I'm going to add more color to this up here. This is almost a periwinkle color. I'm going behind the tree. Adding more color on this lower hill. Go all the way across with it. You can see by painting wet onto wet, it leaves nice soft edges. And of course we want those to show aerial perspective and distance. Okay, we have that down. That might need to be restated even stronger after this dries. Chances are it will. But I'll still, even if I restate it, I will still have some of these nice soft edges that I'm looking for. Okay, and while it's still wet again, I may pop in a few of these green trees that are down even closer. You know, we're thinking in layers. The distant hills are much lighter than the ones in front of them, and show less color, a little bluer. And then as you come forward, these trees start to show the green that's in them. I'm trying to get all this down the first go, because once it's dry, then it will look differently. It won't have all these soft edges. Okay, now I'm going to add some. Well, this is still damp. I'm going to put some of those. Even these trees are closer, so they're warmer than these bushes that are back here. I'm putting a green gold, because I really do want them to look like they're closer and have sunlight hitting them. And while this is still damp, then some of these leaves will show like they are merging with the sky a little bit, which is, when we look at objects, not everything is in focus, and so I want this to have that look. Okay, so I've done everything I can do at this point. Let me add a few more little touches over here while this is all wet. Now I'm going to change colors on this next plane that's up here. I'm going to go to a raw sienna and maybe add a little aurulin that the land back there is still warm. I'm trying to show the difference. I'm going to connect those just a little bit in certain areas, because it is still wet back here. I'll show little patches. This is where I'll break up areas for rocks, and maybe put an animal or two on the farm. But I'm shifting that bluish color back there into a warm color so that it starts to come forward. I could even go with a little burnt sienna. Let me try a little burnt sienna and see what that looks like around this barn here. I like that. There's bushes here. This is where you have to work quickly to keep those soft edges going. Alright, and now I'm going to add just a little change of color. This is cobalt violet light. Just a little coolness in here. Put a little bit more down, a little stronger. Again, I'm going to try a little bit of the this is a quinacridone burnt orange mixed in with that cobalt violet. Looks like a little patch, little area of bare ground. And then I'm going to go and try to emulate these these yellow flowers that are here in the foreground, which is what drew me to the painting to begin with. Now I may have too many white spots. Once I finish my layers, I'll go back and look at them. If I don't like them, I'll just wipe one out. And keep coming forward. I'll start putting some greens in here. Notice I'm not being very careful. I'd rather get it in spontaneously and have it look fresh than take my time and have it look controlled and boring. Alright, I'm going to change this color up here again, this green. I'm going to put just a little bit of that. I'll try a little bit of the periwinkle color. I'm mixing that with cobalt and a little bit of dioxazine violet with it. I think it needs a little shading or darkening up here. And underneath these rocks that I'll eventually do, I'll put some shading under them. You put it in while it's wet. They merge with the grass. It looks a little more natural. So this is all in one go. You can see how fast it is. But it has a freshness that you won't get if you stop each layer, paint one layer, come back and do another layer. It has a more spontaneous look, and it has a lot of soft edges, and it has hard edges. And once we fill in the barns and some of these things that are in the background, add a little bit more to our trees, there'll be plenty of hard edges, so you have both hard and soft edges, and it has more of an atmosphere to it than if I had, like I said, painted them all individually and not had them all connected. Hope that helps. Hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching.